Now, our team was Team H. We dubbed our company Happy Feet, a little nod to having the name Team H and having a shoe company. So we thought it was cute and it'd be a good way to start the company off with a fun idea. Now, the people who worked on this project is me, James Ashmertat, Matthew Cosumuzzi, and Rachel Murdoch. I'm sorry if I butchered names, guys. I'm not perfect in that. But that's our first intro slide right there. Moving on is this strategic vision statement. Now, the strategic vision statement for our company changed a little bit over time, but when we finally got a good solid standing on what we decided what we really wanted to do, it became quite clear what our strategic vision statement should be, and it would read off like this. Our goal and vision for the Happy Feet company will be to provide our customers with few models that reach the high standards that we have set for ourselves. Our image rating will remain high on account of the quality of our products produced rather than the overall number. Basically, what we kind of wanted to capture was the idea that we could produce a few amount of models at a really high quality and bring in a lot of people because they wouldn't be confused on what models to get and they would know that they had a dependable product. And as we'll go through, you can see that we had some successes and failures in achieving that strategic vision, but in the end, it really did bring our company a lot of success. Now, it did differentiate a little bit from our original vision. At first, we kind of wanted to run a Walmart strategy. It would have been kind of on almost the exact opposite, have as many models as possible, or feasible, so probably around 400 models, and run it as low rating and as low cost as we possibly could. We predicted that would be successful because we believed that the opposing companies would all go for high stars and low model rating, like we did eventually. But as I'll discuss in a little bit, it wasn't as successful for us, and we found much greater success with this vision. Now, moving on to our first group map of our first year, you can tell that we really didn't have a good business model yet. We hadn't made that many changes. We increased our star value just a little bit, just enough to actually bring us to the average. But like we said, during that first year, we really just wanted to have the low cost possible and a high model rate. What we didn't do this year is we didn't even achieve that vision. We kept it at about a medium model rate because that was what we found feasible, and that's due to a couple mistakes that we solved later on. Now, moving on to our last year is a good point to see how we differentiated ourselves from the rest of the companies and how we succeeded in general throughout the business strategy game. Now, in year 17, you can tell that we're one of the only companies that aren't directly competing with anyone else in all of North America. Our Group H actually has something that no one else has, which is almost no one overlapping our direct area in any way, shape, or form. Now, that's great because we basically have full run of our little direct market, and with that, we can actually pull off quite a bit of success. And towards year 16 and 17, we actually did see a large amount of growth in our company. So I do believe that worked really well for us. Now looking to more of the actual numbers of our company, our net revenue had a relatively consistent growth throughout the whole company's years in operations. I think we've roughly doubled the amount of revenue that we were originally making, and we saw a lot of success. Now, we did make a mistake towards year 13 and 14. We tried to open up some additional companies around the world, but what we failed to consider was the fixed costs of running them, and it actually ended up costing a company quite a bit, which is why we lagged a little bit towards the mid-game. You can see this as well in the earnings per share. They dipped quite a bit during the year 13, but we did recover it quite a bit towards the end, and I think we ended up running a rather successful company. And lastly, you can tell this a lot in stock prices. Our stock prices took a nasty plummet towards after year 12, but it continued to skyrocket. This is all to show that really the decisions you make with the company is just as important as the strategy you try to implement. And that is all I have to say about our portion of the business strategy game. Thank you.
Hello, I am Rachel Murdoch, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the competitor analysis portion of our BSG game. For our strategic competitor, we decided to go with J Company. We decided to go with them because, as you notice here in these graphs, J is here in the blue and we are H in the green. So we're overlapping pretty significantly here, and even more on the wholesale segment side of it. J is just underneath our H here. Along with overlapping in these two in North America is what's shown. We are very similar in the other three regions as well. So J Company has about 50 to 100 models. Just like us, lower models, we strive to have lower models with higher quality. So one of the things that I think really set J apart from everyone else is that they were constantly changing their company to what would work best for them, looking at the previous year, where their downfalls were, how they can improve them, and going from there and how to be better in the next year. So much like us, like James mentioned, we actually started out with the Walmart strategy, and after the first year we decided that's not what we wanted to do, and quickly changed that to a lower model, higher quality product. Jay actually did something very similar. They actually had started with 300 models with average shoe ratings. In the later years of the competition, they decided that that was not working for them. They were going to change it up, and that's when they provided fewer models and left our market space. They started offering lower cost products. In year 13, it was actually 84% lower than what our company was offering. With this, they also had slightly lower ratings than what we did. We wanted to keep our image rating higher. Most of ours were in the 80s, if not 90s, throughout this whole competition, and theirs were a little lower. The part that we noticed we wanted to be at after seeing Company J do this was their celebrity appeal. You can see here that it was 254% higher than what we had, which is a pretty significant change than ours, and that was because we simply didn't put enough pressure on the celebrity appeal like they did. We underbid all of the celebrities that we wanted, and it just did not work in our favor. So we saw that, looking at Jay, how they dominated the celebrity appeal part of this BSG game and how well it was working for them. After the next year, we decided we were going to put more money into this, more money into those contracts and getting those celebrities that we wanted to hopefully give success to our team as well. Looking at Jay's financials, very, very impressive. We see that they had 283% gain in their net revenue, which is astonishing, and then their gross profit margin was actually 62.3%. This was really impressive to us, which is why we kept them as a competitor for our team personally. Another part that we did see that they had that we were slacking in was their manufacturing space. They had over 6,000 square feet of manufacturing space throughout the 4 regions. We were really slacking here. In one of the years, we noticed that we just couldn't get our numbers and ratings up to where we wanted them to be, and noticed that they had all of these space, and this was one of the reasons why. So we went ahead and bought more space looking at what they had, and it proved to be successful for us. These are all of the reasons why Jay was our biggest competitor. They dominated this game, and we wanted to compete with them the whole time. So we looked at our numbers, looked at their numbers, and tried to strive to be right there with them, competing the whole time, and thought that we did. Matthew is going to talk to you more about the competitor strategy.